Hey everybody, Paul Turner here from thediscipleproject.net, here with another video for today. And today, I want to talk to you about my reading list for this year. And this is just a sample, by the way. This is not my full reading list. This is just some books that I'm excited about. Some of them are older, some of them are newer. And I wanted to share that with you because I think it's important to have a reading list. Doug Fields likes to say that leaders are learners, and I fully agree with that. I buy into that. That if you're not have a book list, whether that's on your Kindle or Real Books or however you choose to consume it, we tend to get stale in our ministry. So I'm going to share just a few things, a few of the books that I'm interested in, and maybe why I chose them. So let me start with this, which is an interesting choice for me, by the way, or you might think it's an interesting choice for me, but it's a book called Elminster, and it is a fantasy book. I'm a big fantasy nerd, and I think it's important for pastors, leaders, to read things that are not always so dense, right? Sometimes we need to give this a little bit of a break. And so I like to just drift off and read me a good fantasy novel. So please be sure to leave. If you're a big nerd, let me know that you are in the comments. Elminster is from the Forgotten Realms series, and it is basically, I'm going to read the whole trilogy of Elminster in the series. So there's that. Talking about dense and going a little bit deeper. Once again, these are all very different books, which I also encourage, by the way, because you're looking at different disciplines. You're looking at different areas that you're looking at. And I think a youth pastor and every pastor, every person really, should be diversified in what they're reading. So the next one I have is The Reason for God by Keller. And I am liking already this book because it's just in the world in which we live, people are finding less and less reasons for God because they have the internet. So, why do I need to pray? I just Google my answers and so forth. And yet that leaves a lot of people empty. But Tim Keller's a smart guy. And I just think we can get so used to pat answers that I think as believers in this culture, in this day and age, we need to up our game a little bit. And so that's why I'm reading The Reason for God by Tim Keller. Now, this is a book that I received from my daughter from her trip to Europe, and it's called The Border: The Legacy of Century Anglo-Irish Politics. And my daughter knows my love of all things Irish. Having some of that in my blood, and some of it's just family. But she got this for me, and I just said, you know what? This is going to be read because once again, I wouldn't call myself a history buff, but I do like reading different perspectives. If you're not, maybe, I would suggest reading books that you're really not into, because I think these types of books stretch our vocabulary, stretch our thought process, stretch our perspectives. And so, I am totally about this because it's just going to be a fascinating look inside the politics within Ireland and so forth. So I'm really excited about that. This is a book that I've had on my shelf, and I believe I've read half of it. Do you ever get that feeling that you've read a book before and you only got so far through it? You think you read it, but you didn't really read it. This is a book called A Curious Mind: The Secret to a Bigger Life by Brian Grazer and Charles Fishman. And from what I remember, at least reading the beginning parts here, is the fact that the nature of being curious, asking questions. And I think as believers, we don't ask enough questions, because I think we have all the answers already. And so from remembering what I've read of this, it's just going to be a good reminder to stay curious, that in a conversation, or in our world, be curious, right? Be curious about other people. Be curious about their stories. Be curious about new ways of doing things. And so that's going to be a great book. I just got these. These are newer books to me. The Art of Community: 7 Principles for Belonging. And this is a good book, for me at least, because I'm so committed to community. That's why I build this channel, to have community with youth workers like yourself. And so The Art of Community, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be a really good read by Charles H. Vogel. So super excited about that. And I'm interested in the principles of building, better communities. This is by Chris Guillebeau. Guillebeau is the $100 startup. I am have an entrepreneurial spirit, and so I am interested in all things businessy. This is called the $100 startup. Reinvent the way you make a living, do what you love, and create a new future. And I can't recommend books like this enough for youth workers who your sole job is youth ministry. I'm always, now in life, always thinking about not only, what's next, what can I do, but youth pastors need the extra money. Youth pastors need, to develop other things, I believe, and other skills to help them in the future. So a book like this would certainly be of value to you. And then also Side Hustle, also by Chris Guillebeau, is really just talking about from idea to income in 27 days. How to take that hobby, how to take those things and really move it along to where you can actually make money. So maybe you're a musician or an artist or a crafter or something like that, where you can say, look, I have an idea. How can I take that and make money with it? I think many of you can. I have, just because, I'm a writer, and so I can write and create resources. By the way, if you're interested in those resources, there's a link down below. You can go visit the store. There's curriculum. There's the Youth Ministry Playbook 2020. You've heard me talk about that. So all kinds of resources. I'll leave them down in the description below. Here's another one. This is called The Gift of Apostle, a biblical look at apostleship and how God is using it to bless his church today. Once again, this is a deeper book, study into the role of apostle. And I believe I found this in a free bin at Second and Charles, which is a store here in Birmingham, where they take books that they don't take into their store. They throw it into they just throw it into the free bin, and you can, grab free books out. So I said, I'm going to take that because I think that's of great interest to me. Next book is called Belonging. By Radha Agrawal. And once again, it's another book on community. It's find your people, create community, and live a more connected life. Super interested in that. I think community is so important, especially for believers. So many youth pastors who don't have their own community. I mean, that's why youth pastors join YouTube channels or other things, Facebook groups, because usually there's not a community for that youth pastor within even the local church, because it's your job and sometimes you don't get out and about. So I want to recommend Belong. That's my reading list. I recommend it because if you're interested in community, not that I've read it and it's a super fantastic book, maybe I'll do a post show and I'll tell you more about how the books work. This one's called Crucial Conversation, Tools for Talking When Stakes Are High. Once again, this is another book that I think I tried to read, and I think I only got about a quarter way through it. Not because the book was bad. I think if you're like me, you buy books and you put them aside and then you never went back to them. So I am totally committed to reading this because this is about how to have hard conversations. And let me tell you what, ministry is filled with hard conversations, crucial conversations that you have to have with people, toxic people, people that maybe aren't doing their job correctly, whatever that is. You have to have those types of things. So this is by a bunch of people, Kerry Patterson, Joseph Grenny, Ron McMillan, Al Switzler, right here. So also committed to The Emotional Healthy Leader by Peter Scazzaro. Super interested in that, just because I want to be a healthy leader. You should be a healthy leader. Sometimes we don't take care of ourselves as pastors. We don't take care of we don't go deep on those things. And so I want to encourage you, grab yourself a book on getting your soul healthy, because that's super, super important in the ministry. So, but guys, that's it. That's just a start to my list. And you notice, like I said, there's various disciplines there. There's business, there's personal, there's fiction, all those things. I want to encourage you, get yourself together a book list and make it of various disciplines. So I would love to know from you in the comments below. What's your book list? What is your book list? List your 5. Even if you have 5, 3, it doesn't matter. Give me some books that you are wanting to read this year. I would love to hear from you. And also, I'm going to put a list of all these links in the description, that if you're interested in these books, I'll put some Amazon links there. I am an Amazon affiliate. And so you purchasing these books from me puts a couple of dimes in my pocket to help support the channel and the ministry. So, but that is it for today, guys. I appreciate you guys checking in and hanging out. Hopefully you have a great reading list for 2020. And If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you'll get videos like this in your inbox on a regular basis. And if you're a regular, please hit that thumbs up button. Let me know you like the video and you want more of them. And until next time, guys, have a great week, everybody. Bye.